You are.
There it is.
Hell yeah, boss.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1352 of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, December 7th, 2023. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed right here. Subscribe, like, and set to auto download, please. Today, Wes has a soft corner and some hotel hijinks to tell us about.
Wow. That's right. This is a good soft corner. This guy is easy to hate. I feel like he's real easy to hate. So it'll be fun to make. It'll be fun to give him some shit.
Is it the guy in your background? Because I want to punch him. I want to punch him right in the face.
Don't you want to punch him? Here
I want to punch that guy right in the face.
That's Theodore.
Oh man,
he's got like a wispy beard, and a Jets hat, Jets bad hat. Yeah,
man.
Punch that guy in the face. What I want to do.
He's in a hole to start. Mark's got a funny Chick-fil-A story and another funny kangaroo story to tell us about. Double funny.
That's right. That is correct. Yeah.
That's what we're here for. The laughs.
I got my full red Adidas on. I feel like Mafia Marv today.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah. Christmas
Russian Marv.
Yeah.
Russian Mafia Marv.
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe we should have like a nickname for you. Mafia Marv. Maybe that's the game. You already branded it.
Mafia Marv.
Yeah.
Mafia Marv.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Can you change your name on the StreamYard? So
I don't know how to do it. This is where we need Eric and Pat. Pat knows how to do it.
Right when you log in, you do it.
I'm gonna leave and come back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thanks, Mafia Marv. And I've got a bit of bad news. And they say that bad news comes in threes. Is that what they say, Wes? Or is that deaths?
No, bad news comes in threes.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got. Bad news that comes in threes today. That's my segment. But I've also got some funny shit at the end if we have time. That's it. Wes, how you doing? While Mafia Marv gets all set.
I'm great. It's been absolutely gorgeous in Austin the last few days. It's just been, probably the two nicest days of the year, maybe the last 2 days in Austin. So nice. It's been fantastic. Yeah.
Mafia Marv, you're back. You've been enjoying that nice weather?
I cut the grass today,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is that code? Delightful. Is that code for something, or did you?
Yeah, that's mowing another man's lawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Mafia Marvin
got someone's grass when he was at work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How about you? What's going on? How are you doing?
Oh, just dealing with constantly sick kids all the time and shuffling them in and out. It's one every day. I just kind of rotate them. And then
I did a photo shoot today with a previous wedding client that had a baby, and their baby was born October 13th. And so very new baby. And I got a taste of it today. I got a taste of what you're going through today.
Oh, that newborn life. Yeah. So you were just standing around them for like 30 minutes, and that was the taste. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the taste. All right. Yeah.
That's all you wanted.
The audible. I got an audible taste.
You could then in your mind be like, what if this was all the time?
Oh, I pushed the stroller. I was like, I'm having flashbacks.
You can't quantify it until you're in it. Yeah. Even once it like calms down, you forget how crazy it's going to be for the next kid if you have another. And then
and you guys, I haven't even experienced that. So you guys have one up on me.
It's you'll never remember quite how insane it is in the moment, but all worth it. Love
this time
love
it'll
those
be better. This time will be less crazy.
Love those little squirts.
Yeah, nice.
Despite never sleeping, I don't sleep.
That's what they said.
The most
running low on sleep.
The most important thing is family.
Familia.
That's right, Mafia Marv.
True. Mafia Marv knows. Yeah. The familia.
Who's starting us off?
I think
it's Wes.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. This is real news.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And today I've also got to kick us off.
Sitting in the corner of the Macho Man Randy Savage is quite an honor.
Nice.
You dog.
Soft corner.
You dog. Bring it back.
Yeah, bringing it back. The pandemic was tough on everyone, right? People died, people lost loved ones. We had to wear masks. Kids were out of school. And small businesses like bars and restaurants had to shut down temporarily, or a lot of them just closed for good. They couldn't survive the pandemic, which was terrible, right?
Everyone was in a situationship online.
Yep.
Lots of horrible shit.
Lots of divorces, lots of cheating being exposed,
lots of murders,
abuse,
fraud. Yeah. I mean, like it was everything bad. Yeah,
it was the Wild West out there.
We haven't really recovered. You know, things that still living through
to the moon, Alice. Right? You know,
all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Spent all that money that now inflation. It's been it's been a ride. Yeah.
But hey, remember that $2,000 some we got? That was pretty cool, huh?
Wow, worth it, right? Worth it for the worst 3 years of your life.
Was it 1,200 and 600? Wasn't it 1,800?
I forget.
They
I
asked
got more
back, I think. Yeah.
Didn't it come back in taxes?
Yeah. No, they you had to pay that back. Mostly
got a sweet PPP loan. It was like $5,000 total for 3 years of misery. That's what the government gave us.
Sweet.
Yeah. But allegedly, one bar in New York City found a way to stave off the financial hit from the pandemic and avoid closing down for good. The Mark on East 77th Street decided the only way to stay open and for bartenders to make good money was to become a haven. Yeah, the Mark. Yep. Very good name.
Good thing it doesn't have a C.
Right. I thought it was going to have a Q, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does seem like the kind of place that would spell Mark with a Q.
There's a lot of pretentious the Marks that are establishments that have Q's at the end, which pisses me off.
Mark.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah. So it's a hotel. They got a bar in there. Here's what the bar looks like. Real swanky, right? Real nice looking place. But what happened is allegedly is that during the pandemic, they became a haven for underage rich kids to go and drink. So if you had a fake ID, you knew that the Mark would serve you.
Great business plan.
Great business plan. And
Mafia Marv approved.
Yeah.
Comment section going nuts. Hey, yo, I'm podcasting here.
Hey, yo, I'm podcasting here. Hey, keep it down. Animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So naturally became a hot spot for people like who we already saw, Theodore Weintraub.
Oh,
there he is.
This guy's underage.
He's a patron.
He's 19 now. He was 16 at the time when all this was happening.
He's the oldest looking 19-year-old I've ever seen.
I wouldn't card him at a not the Mark establishment.
No.
Yeah. Well, he looks a little older now, but he was 16 at the time.
And what consulting firm do you work for?
Right. Yeah. Like, can you tell me about whiskey?
What do you
Why do you have your polo tucked in? 19-year-old.
Right. He's even got kind of like a dad bod, like no pecs.
He does.
Like
his old man body, old man dad hats.
He's aged. A little bit aged.
Does he have like Benjamin Button disease, or where you age really quick? Maybe.
No. I think I do believe more of why he's aged a little bit more later. But the New York Post said the Mark engaged in a scheme to prioritize revenue collection by serving alcohol underage teenagers, and this is Weintraub's attorney, Leo Esses. He wrote in a counterclaim. So the 5-star hotel and people like Meghan Markle, Gigi Hadid would go there. And it was known, like Theodore, it was known to Upper East Side teens, so rich kids, as a place to go and get served your booze if you just had any kind of fake ID. A lot of times they wouldn't even check your ID. They would just know that you were going to lay down some cash, and that was good enough, right?
It's like a neighborhood bar vibe. There's some places in America and in the world where you can just roll into a neighborhood bar and they're never going to fucking card somebody, unless they're like ultra young. You know what I mean?
Guys, for the girls, anyone can come in. For the guys, if you can grow a little bit of facial hair, and then the other thing is just if you're willing to pay $30 a drink, you're good.
Yeah,
right.
Confidence.
Yeah,
confidence. And you guys had fake IDs back in the day, right?
Oh yeah. Loved it.
Yeah,
of course.
Fantastic time.
Yeah. Will had a good one because it was like an actual ID,
real.
a guy that looked like him.
Greg. Yeah.
Mine was like a shitty fake ID that I didn't work at a lot. I worked at half of the places.
I was in the same situation as Will. You guys remember back? I had in college, I had the curly fro, and I went to a party one night, and there was a guy there with a curly fro. And I was like, dude, how old are you? And he says like 21. I was like, I'll give you $100 for your ID. So he gave me his ID. It was a real Kentucky ID. And all people saw when they looked at it was the fro. They didn't see. I mean, I looked decent enough like him, but the fro was just
right.
That's it.
Who else would do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And me and this guy, he was an older offensive lineman at our high school, and I was, so that's how I got the ID from him. And we both have no neck. That's why we
Well, I went with you. We drove 2 hours each direction to get that ID because it was so worth it. Like,
So
we were so excited at like 16 or 17 that we were like, hell yeah. Or like, and we like went and drove 4 hours, said hi to the guy for 2 minutes just to get this ID.
Yeah,
we have similar faces and necks, right? But he's got blue eyes and he's 6'4". And so the ID was so good. Our faces are so similar and our necks are so similar that the headshot. A bartender on Bourbon Street one time during Mardi Gras was like, "This isn't you." And I'm like, "No, it's me." And so you start shitting your pants a little bit because you're like, "I don't want to get my fucking ID taken." Right.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I see what you listed here. 6'4". Give me a fucking break." And just hands me the ID. And I go inside.
He just thought you were lying. That's awesome. See, that's a good bouncer or door checker, because I would think that they probably don't look at those stats. That would be so ridiculous. It's usually like look for a hologram, look at the age.
It was so legit. He just thought I was a big liar.
Wow.
Yeah.
DMV.
Yeah. That's
he went above and beyond looking at height.
Yeah, that's the best, is to get just a person that looks like you. Anyway, Theodore decided he was gonna ruin the fun for everyone, because one night he got way too hammered at the Mark and was banned. Right, so he's 16. He's a rich fucking kid. His dad's a cardiologist on the Upper East Side. So he's just a rich kid, and they were like, this kid's a fucking liability. He's gonna get us in trouble because he's probably a fucking asshole. Got way too drunk. He's not allowed in here anymore.
Underage as well. Like, yeah,
he's like doing coke out in the open.
Yeah.
You're quick
just
to
thinks
kick
he
out
owns
an
the place.
underage kid. Yeah. If they fuck up, if you're the kind of bar where
Yes.
you might allow some of that to go on, and then an underage kid fucks up, that's the first person getting kicked out.
It's true. You got to be on your P's and Q's as an underage kid if they.
And a lot of times they're the ones fucking up because they can't handle their booze. They're idiots.
Exactly.
But Theodore didn't like that, and now the Mark is actually suing him for starting a smear campaign out of revenge for them not serving him. So he's
trying to ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, that's why he's in the soft corner. He tried to ruin it for everyone else because he couldn't go there anymore. Theodore
he said they serve all sorts of underage people here.
Oh yeah. So
they let all the other kids in. They let Tommy in.
They let all the poor. They let all the poorer kids in. I'm richer than them.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, it's definitely all private school kids.
It's all private, Upper East Side private school kids that go there.
But there's still levels to it.
Look at this place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is.
Like,
there's
better school kids are still going there and having a great time and getting laid and cheersing with the bartenders, and that's just driving them nuts.
I would imagine there's more of a hierarchy in Upper East Side schools than there are normal schools.
Right.
When it comes to so anyway, again, he's an ultra entitled rich kid. He hired protesters to chant and hold signs outside the hotel alleging that the Mark denied the Holocaust and supported convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So he used his daddy's money, hired protesters, and went real far. Yeah.
Is that like the about section of the Mark? They're like, we don't believe in the Holocaust didn't exist, and Epstein some bud
just made it all up.
I made it all up.
Yeah, of course.
To ruin his neighborhood bar because he wasn't allowed in.
Because he wasn't allowed in. They also said that he accosted guests and employees. And the latest twist, according to the Post, is that the defendant's behavior is to attempt to defend his behavior by slinging more spears at his victim. Attorney Alexander Klein wrote in the new motion, which denied all these accusations that the Mark targeted underage drinkers. But his dad, this doctor, he posted a 9-second video showing his 16-year-old son in the Mark. Just insanely hammered. So his dad's like playing the card like, you shouldn't have served my son, even though
but that doesn't. No.
Yeah.
No. An underage person being hammered at any bar doesn't necessarily mean it was the bar's fault. It happened on their premises, but there could be all kinds of situations that lead to that happening and that video being produced. So that's not enough to say.
He might have gotten drunk before.
Has his father ever looked at his 58-year-old looking son?
Yeah, no, his father.
Yeah, I mean, who would card him?
I mean, I don't understand the complaint here.
Yeah. So, but what's hilarious is how that after all this smear campaign, blah, 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 or before the smear campaign happened, how it happened was this kid must be a real piece of shit because his parents found out about it when they went to the Mark for a family dinner in September of 2021. And the boy and Theodore was told at the door that he wasn't allowed in. So everyone recognized him immediately as Theodore, the piece of shit. And they're like, your son's not allowed in here. Get him the fuck out of here.
No chance, Teddy. We fucking
He tried to
hate
come back in, tail between his legs.
But yeah. Well, yeah, he tried to sneak in with Daddy. That's
so
what
many
happened.
times. So many times.
Yeah. And he was
I
like,
thought
I
Daddy's
guess
black card was going to break the ban, but it didn't.
Yeah. Apparently he also like was like spitting in people's food one night, like harassing guests. But the real
Someone's got to
reason,
punch this kid in the face.
yes, but the real reason, and people fucking hate him. They've sent him death threats. Like one wrote, "Hey Zionist scumbag, I hope the Mark sues your fat ass and you go to jail, you arrogant fuck. Make sure you bring some condoms for when you become Bubba's bitch.
So
he
this
fucks
is like,
you up the ass. You're already an alcoholic?" Question mark.
Well, this guy really went after him.
Yeah.
Well, that they're also like bringing in the whole like Israel thing. What's that about? This is
because he denied they were Holocaust.
Because I think Theodore's Jewish.
Right. That's clearly what that implies.
Weintraub,
So
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a mess. This is a mess. But that kid's the worst.
He's the worst. But another twist is
that was probably Theodore's burner trying to make it look like Theodore's getting attacked.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
it was a handwritten note too. Look at that.
By Theodore to Theodore.
But the truth is that Theodore was not banned from the Mark because he was angry that they wouldn't serve him alcohol. He was banned on a night of heavy drinking, and he started an altercation with security guard. So we've all seen the videos on YouTube where like a rich white kid gets pissed for being thrown out. Usually it's a black bouncer and they start mouthing off to him thinking they're entitled and blah blah blah, and then maybe the bouncer ends up like fucking punch him in the face, which is awesome.
I watch as many of those as I can, and usually 3 times in a row when I find them.
Me too. They're amazing. That's Theodore. That's Theodore. So he's just outside talking about who his dad is to the security guard, blah 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 blah, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. And then he started his smear campaign. So now the Mark is suing him for the smear campaign. He's suing the Mark, I guess, for serving an underage kid, but he's ruined it for everyone because now no one at the Mark.
Drop it all and Theodore stays away from the fucking Mark. How about that?
Well, everybody is, as Wes said. He's already ruined it because they can't serve. Like now, the party's
on the watch list.
Drop both lawsuits and Theodore stay like 500 yards away from the fucking Mark. What are we doing here?
Yeah, quit hiring protesters, Theodore.
Yeah,
what wild, soft kid.
I hope he lost some friends over that because that's ridiculous.
I hope he loses the lawsuit. That's what I mean. That would be the real fucking, coup de grace for Teddy.
I like this from Glenn Baker over there in Canada. He goes, Theo out the door. Theodore. Got him.
Yeah. That's that.
Yeah. He fucked up.
Let me take care of some business here. Guys, a new year is a great time to grow your business, right? But if you're stuck in the trenches of daily tasks, like managing order fulfillment, you're not able to focus on what really matters. Increasing sales, right? That's profitability. That's what matters, right?
It matters.
And with ShipStation, sorry, hang on. I can't see this thing. No matter where you sell or how you ship, your business can grow with ShipStation.
Yeah.
It's a
you're like a grandfather.
I know.
Squinting.
You got the screen on extra small.
ShipStation.
This is my first time reading this ad, to be honest with you.
Like you're reading a Christmas story to your grandkids, your great grandkids, maybe.
Let's see here. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think hang on a minute.
ShipStation can help increase your profitability by automating your workflow and keeping costs with industry-leading discounts. The order details page lets you quickly and easily update crucial order information and reduce errors. Effortless integration everywhere you sell online, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and more. And you manage your orders, print labels, compare rates, optimize every shipment, and automate delivery notification. ShipStation's robust automations and reporting makes scaling easy. And as your business grows, you can save thousands on shipping costs. So over 130,000 companies have grown their e-commerce business with ShipStation, and 98% of companies that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life. So make this year your most important one yet with ShipStation. Use promo code HARDFactor today at ShipStation.com to sign up for your free 30-day trial It's a 30-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, promo code Hard Factor.
So good. So convenient too. If you ship a lot of stuff, it is the number one. And if you have a
Absolutely.
business, you need to do the returns like this.
Even the elderly can use it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some glasses soon. Probably in the new
Hey,
year.
up
some
the
light
font
there or something.
Up the size of the font there, bro.
Turn the screen brightness up.
No, the brightness is fine. It's just the font was so tiny.
Wait a minute. How do I work this thing? Will, you want to go next, or you want me to go?
No, I got one long one, so I'll just go in the middle.
No.
If that works.
All right, so I saw this story on social media yesterday, and I thought it was like either fake or old. It seemed not all the way real to me, kind of like maybe from a movie or TV show. Even you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. We'll get there. But first, let's take a look. Take it back to where the story started. And I'm gonna have to load my pictures here because I didn't do that. Hang on a second. I'm blowing it here. I'm just gonna play you the video. There's a woman, a 39-year-old woman. And her name is Karma. Rosemary Hain. She's from Ohio. And Rosemary, she's crying in court. And the reason she's crying in court is because of what she did at the local Chipotle, which I'm about to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good.
She's crying in court over what she did at a local Chipotle.
Well,
What
because
do you
of this,
have to do at a Chipotle?
you have to
Cry in
do
court over
you
it.
have to do this. Open for American. You have to do this. You see that?
Shit,
I'm gonna
yeah.
bring it
Threw a
back
bowl
to,
at her.
I'm gonna bring it back to the beginning.
burrito
Full
bowl.
burrito. Full burrito to the face, like it got all over.
You barefoot?
Yeah.
Probably. No, she got some. Here it is again.
Ooh. I mean, what did the employee do to deserve that? That's a brutal. It was like a pie to the face, except for a burrito bowl.
She skimper on her rice or something?
Absolutely nothing is what she did. She just trying to check her out. So yeah, she burritoed the cashier. Yeah, she's just a piece of shit, this Rosemary Hain. She's the Theodore of Ohio. So yes, she burritoed the cashier to the face. Although it was a decent Matumboing from the cashier. She blocked most of it. Unfortunately, the burrito was flung at such a velocity that it exploded and all the shit got on her. But the burrito didn't hit her in the face, which probably would have hurt more. She just got real messy. Obviously, that's not real cool, Rosemary. In fact, the assault traumatized Emily Russell, who was the cashier, and she promptly quit. She was like, you know what? I always said, one burrito to the face, and I'm out of here.
It's a good rule.
Yeah.
One steaming hot burrito in a tinfoil wrapping, and I'm out of here.
We have a live chat. Tiller has an interesting theory. Is it because this is another Chipotle manager who's sleeping with all the clients' husbands? Is that what happened here?
That would make more
sense. Lucy in Florida.
That would make a lot more sense, but apparently, according to what she told the judge, which I'll get to in a minute, no, it had nothing to do with anyone sleeping with anyone.
She could have gone with that defense. I mean,
should have probably.
Yeah.
Probably not with what she went because the judge punked the shit out of her. So Rosemary apologized. She's crying in court. I don't have the picture, but she's crying in court. She looks real sad. And she's apologizing. And then the judge is like, why the hell did you do it? And then she said, if I showed you how my food looked and how my food looked a week later from that same restaurant, it's disgusting looking.
You got to be shitting me.
She didn't like the quality of the burrito, which wasn't made by the cashier. By the way.
Put her in jail. What's the punishment for this? It's got to be.
It was wrapped up.
So, but she just could tell when it was being assembled.
Jeez.
You're gonna hit somebody with the food over you not liking the appearance. That's an insane person.
I bet you they upcharged her and she lost her mind. I bet she tried to get away with some kind of upcharge.
Well, maybe, but she claims, she goes, it's because the food was disgusting. And the judge responded with, well, yeah, it's Chipotle. Nah, just kidding. Chipotle's aight. I wish it were a little hotter all the time, and I wish their queso wasn't ice cream, but it's aight. Used to be better. It's all right. You
got to microwave those burritos when you get them home.
Yeah, I always see the people in Chipotle going around with a thermometer to check the temperature, and I'm like, what is your setting? You want it to be cold? Because you seem to be passing all of these, and it's always cold. Chipotle is the coldest burritos in town. Yeah,
yeah, you got to eat it there.
You can't even eat it there and have it be warm. You can think.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
right.
that's too cold. Too cold, in my opinion. But back to the point, the judge said, what the fuck, lady? That's no excuse for throwing a burrito at someone who's just doing her job's face. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And then this is where I thought it got a little bizarre. He said, I'm going to give you two options. You can go to jail for 6 months. That was the sentence. He goes, you're guilty of assault. And the assault charge is 180 days. So you can go to jail for 6 months or you can go to jail for a few months and serve the remainder of your time working 20 hours a week at that same Chipotle you were caused to see now.
Yes. This judge is the best.
Isn't that cool? He goes, would you like to, he literally said, would you like to walk a mile in her shoes? And she said, strap me up, boss, with my walking shoes. I'm in.
So she went with that one.
Yeah.
Damn.
She's going to get harassed so bad by those Chipotle employees.
6 months in jail for a burrito toss, huh? That seems steep.
Rosemary needs the lesson.
Yeah,
She needs the lesson. I'm glad that the judge
he had the back pocket with like the couple months in the
She
Chipotle
probably
thing.
got some priors.
Yeah. He's seen her
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
A woman that throws a burrito like that for really no reason, he's seen her before.
You're wearing pink shorts and sandals, throwing burritos. You've been in the court before.
You see the old lady who might have been with her was like, why the fuck did you do that? And she
Right.
shoved
Why'd
her.
you do it again? You
Why'd
did
you
it
do it,
again. You
Rosemary?
always blow up like this. And then,
Yeah.
Why
This
do we
was
keep
on
coming?
camera.
If you don't
You
like
doing
Chipotle,
so
we can
good.
stop coming here.
Guess I'll put the Rosemary counter freak out back to 1.
Yeah. You're not driving home in this condition, Rosemary. You know I don't got a license. I got bad eyes like Wes. So yeah, the judge was hilarious. He told when she said that she was disgusted by her burrito, he said, this isn't the Real Housewives, lady. That's not how humans act. And if you didn't like your burrito from Chipotle, you're definitely not going to like the food they serves you in jail for 6 months.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, the judge.
Dude, he was incredible. He's like a superhero, this guy. Handing out whatever just punishment exists without even contacting the Chipotle manager and asking him or her if they wanted to staff a crazy woman.
Right. That's a good point. He probably should have cleared that one with the Chipotle first, but he was on a roll. When you're
Right.
on a roll, you don't stop and clear stuff. You have a good idea. You're just going to run with it, especially if you're a judge. Like, you're not going to stop yourself.
She accepted on a viral video, and that might have been the first the Chipotle heard about it.
Yeah.
She's what?
She's coming to work for you, according to the courts. That's what's happening.
Hey, can you train Rosemary today? She's got a bit of a temper, by the way. So
Did the girl that quit get any kind of compensation from Rosemary?
no, but they interviewed her and she was like, I am so glad that she accepted because she's going to hate working at Chipotle and she deserves it. That was like her quote. she was like, this makes me so happy. Everyone should have to work in the service industry. And this
For
is the
sure.
best.
We even talked about that at our team meeting this week. All of us have worked service industry before. Like, it's like, you don't really know how shitty that is until you've been on the other side of it. I mean, none of us have had a fucking burrito in our face, but we've had some clients.
I've worked at a burrito place though.
Yeah, say fucked up shit.
Literally.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's
My boss tried to blow me, remember?
that's right. That's right.
At Qdoba,
My gay boss, yeah.
Qdoba, by the way, better burrito place than Chipotle.
Way better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Much better
depends on
queso,
the
all
keto, but
three of them,
They're both low quality compared to Cabo Bob's.
which I had
That's fair.
today.
I'm gonna get a burrito after the show. It's
I
too
had a
much.
Cabo Bob's today.
Oh, God.
Every burrito story we do turns into a Cabo Bob's ad. I
Yeah,
mean,
it does.
that's just natural. That's not. We don't.
This
work
was
for that.
fate because I had the Cabo Bob's and then picked the story afterwards. Maybe it was like recency bias.
You know what the
Got
greatest
burrito
thing
on my face. Yeah.
the greatest thing about working at the burrito place is that like most burrito places like Cabo Bob's, they have a punch system, and Qdoba had a punch system. It was a little cactus, and if you bought 6 burritos, you got your 7th free. But what they would do is they wouldn't mark that the thing was used. They would just throw it in the trash. So I would collect them from the trash and hand them out to my buddies and keep some for myself. And we would just go different Qdobas and get free burritos all day long. It was
Classic.
awesome. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It worked every fucking time. It was awesome.
Classic hack.
Gotta love a
I had
good
that. I,
burrito.
remember, I talked about on the show when I had a Sonic free cheeseburger coupon, and they all I did was like I kept trying to hand it to them, but they're like, okay, and they just kept putting it in, and they never asked for it. So then every time I was like, I've got this free cheeseburger coupon. They're like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. You got to keep going back to that store because
Yeah, I did. It was like
Yeah.
a half mile away, and I would just get I wouldn't get anything else. I would just get like the cheeseburger,
like, sure, dude. Yeah.
Gonna go get
sure.
free
maybe a
cheese.
side, but
That's awesome.
Yeah.
double
Do you need the
cheeseburger.
card? Nah, bro.
No, I even said that a few times. Like, we're good.
Hmm.
We'll be right out in 7 minutes because we're Sonic. Hey, if you're running a business of one, you're wearing many hats in your day-to-day, right? With collective bookkeeping and accounting, don't need to be one of them. Thank you, Collective. You can start saving thousands of dollars and hours of your time. Time is money by letting Collective handle your back office work so you can focus on, I don't know, growing your business. I don't know, something like that. Anything more important, they say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. But as a freelancer, there's always the dreaded back office work that comes with it. No one loves to do accounting, not even accountants.
No,
trust me, I did it for a couple of years. Not fun. It definitely pays the bills. It's not the worst. It's not like getting a burrito thrown in your face, but it's not fun. With Collective, you can focus on growing your business of one while letting their tax experts focus on your accounting and bookkeeping. Collective is the all-in-one financial solution for self-employed entrepreneurs that lets you focus on your passion, not your paperwork. Let Collective handle all of the back office work you dread, like business information, compliance, taxes, bookkeeping, accounting, and even payroll. The best part, it's a fraction of the cost of a CPA. Yo!
wow.
Yeah. Collective specializes in S corps. Ever heard of them? If you have, maybe check out Collective. A tax selection that saves its members an average of $10,000 per year. That's why people like the S corps. If your business of one is making at least $60,000 in profit annually, then you could be missing out on thousands in tax savings every year. For a limited time, Collective's waiving the onboarding fee when you go to collective.com/hardfactor and you tell them Hard Factor sent you. That's $199 value. They're like, we're going to waive it. Onboarding fees, it's waived for free.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice of them, isn't it? When you go to collective.com/hardfactor and tell them Hard Factor sent you. So that's collective.com/hardfactor. Let them know Hard Factor sent you.
Yeah. Boy, that is good news about Collective existing, because save you some headaches.
The Alabama Hammer's back, gentlemen.
In the house, in the chat.
Yeah.
Also, Jim in the chat's asking, hey, Will, are you drinking straight Hershey's syrup? If so, total power move. And yeah, definitely, Jim. Thanks.
So I still thought he was until a few minutes ago. So Wes pointed out that it is a water bottle that he mentioned on the air last night that I didn't hear.
Wes figured it out immediately. Mark and Pat totally bamboozled.
We just thought Will was insane. Wes is like,
exactly.
Wes is like, there's no possible way he's drinking syrup.
That's correct. Wes nailed it right away. No. So good news there. Good call, Wes. But bad news comes in threes. So I got three for you. First, more updates on Sean Diddy Combs. You guys know about him. He's famous for a lot of things, but mostly probably paying to have Tupac killed.
Right.
It turns out he's probably got a few more skeletons in the closet as well. He's now been accused of gang raping a 17-year-old schoolgirl. This is his fourth sex assault claim in 3 weeks on a list that is rapidly growing. And while Diddy, he settled with the first accuser of sexual assault, his ex Cassie. Now he's drawing a line in the sand, saying that all these new claims are totally false. Like, yeah, I settled that first one, but no, everything else.
Vault's closed. Sorry, ladies, I raped.
He's had enough. I've had enough of all this. All you people trying to get justice.
Look, now that everyone's coming out of the woodworks, I don't have enough to go around.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that you guys nailed it. That was almost his exact wording on his Instagram post.
Yeah.
But he's going to have some explaining to do because these new accusations are bad. This new one from the 17-year-old alleges that his buddy, Harve Pierre, I think we've talked about him on the show before. That's like his little
Harvey
lieutenant.
P.
The article I read called him his lieutenant, Harve Pierre. He allegedly drugged and sex trafficked the 17-year-old girl from a Detroit club back in 2003, where he met her, so that Diddy could, tag team her with Harve Pierre and another guy back in New York City.
Harve's just taking unconscious bodies from the black car basement up to the penthouse and dropping them in and going back and getting more.
It's bad. It's bad. I mean, she says that basically he got her super drunk at the club, was doing a ton of drugs. I don't know when the drugs got introduced to her, but basically that she was drunk and drugged. And then they, took her from Detroit to New York just for the sole purpose of Diddy to bang her first and then everybody else right after.
Harve had his own personal luggage cart for passed out women that he'd roll into the room.
Yeah, that's Diddy's move. He just gives him a bunch of booze and drugs and then rapes him. Apparently,
yes, Wes. That seems to be the trend in all of the accusations, right? Yeah. And so this one, the legal filing alleges that, quote, while at the New York City studio, Miss Doe was gang raped by Mr. Combs, the third assistant, and Mr. Pierre in that order. While Mr.
We gotta let Harvey have peace too because he brought her.
Right. I mean, everybody's
you carried her up here, but you go last.
Right.
That's Diddy's way, right? And he goes first, then everybody. While Mr. Combs was raping Miss Doe, he complained that he could not get off unless she pinched his nipples as hard as she could. And
that's too specific to make up.
That's an excerpt from the filing, which is bad. It gets way worse. Apparently, the second and third guy, Pierre, were even rougher on her as Diddy watched on and cheered him on. And this all happened in a bathroom in a studio. And Diddy has some explaining to do because he even took pictures with the underage girl that night at the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out he's a real piece of shit. Allegedly, he's a real piece of shit.
Well, I mean,
who
knew when everyone believed that he put out a hit on Tupac that he did other crap too. Murder.
You wouldn't believe it, Mark, right?
Yeah, it's not like we thought he was a good guy. We all thought he killed Tupac.
I've never seen this from Diddy. And anyways, as Wes said, that's the modus operandi for all of the other accusations that keep coming out. More are going to come out probably. Drugged and forced to have sex on young women. And we'll see how many of these get settled despite Diddy denying all of it. Right?
Well, if I'm the prosecutor, I can get him a guilty charge real quick in court. You pinch his nipples real hard and see if he gets an erection. Right.
That would be a good
when he pops a boner when he gets his nipples pinched, the case closed.
And that was real. That's a important detail because that'll have other women being like, "Oh, she's telling the truth because he told me to do the same shit, even if they weren't."
He had to be pinched.
Yeah, I mean, it's like his thing, right?
Yeah,
and it's exactly Weinstein style, where she said that this new girl who was 17 years old at the time, so she's unnamed. She said that it was him settling with Cassie that was like, oh shit, I need to. It's like Weinstein style. As soon as he caved to the first one, the avalanche set in.
Well, I hope
they should all get a piece if they were raped.
Coming to him,
yeah, for sure. It sounds horrible. What's alleged in the lawsuit?
Probably go to jail too.
Well, that's why he keeps settling. That's what I'm saying. We'll see how many he settles, even though he says everything is totally fake. But if he settles them all, second. And even worse, there was a mass shooting at the University of Las Vegas, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV on Wednesday, leaving at least 4 people dead, including the shooter, with that number potentially expected to increase, hopefully not by much. Not many solid details have emerged yet from the Las Vegas Police Department about the full extent of what exactly happened on campus Wednesday and how many people are impacted, as the grand total. But it's sad to see America just immediately turn the whole thing into a political debate on gun control that will never be resolved by design. Both sides on Twitter, body count still unknown, both sides still using it as an example of why they're right, about something that they're not going to compromise on in the end. And nobody's, RIP to the victims. It's just so sad and predictable.
Absolutely RIP to the victims. It's sad.
So sad, man.
I was the first time hearing about this, probably because there's not more people dead, but
no, I saw it. It's bad.
3, I'm seeing within the last hour, still 3 people dead.
I saw another shooting in Texas. There was a rampage in Texas where someone killed 6 people over 8 hours or something too, as well today.
Yeah, it's horrible. We have a serious problem, but put it in perspective. RIP to the victims who are still not yet named at the time of taping, because people are still in critical condition.
Probably young college kids. It's horrible.
Yeah, it was on a university campus. It's a tragedy. If you're going through a hard time, seek help on your own. Every time one of these things happens, the politicians just prove how useless they are, and you're going to need to help yourself overcome this depressing and unhealthy situation they've produced for us with decades of bad policy decisions, because the government is not going to save you. They are only going to tax you because they're totally broke, and then they're going to argue about shit they won't fix.
Looking back on it, although James Yo did shoot at some cops, he didn't really hit them. Do more of like a James Joe. Just blow yourself up and don't hurt anyone else, right? Like,
yeah, in retrospect,
yeah.
much cooler. Third and finally, last bad news piece. This one has the internet talking. And take a listen, guys, to what the MIT, UPenn, and Harvard presidents, what they answered questions. It's have you seen the clip, Mark?
I've seen part of the clip. Someone sent it to me today, and I saw the first minute of the clip. Yes.
I mean, everybody on the internet's talking about it, every social media platform, because it's crazy. Okay. So listen to what the presidents of MIT, Penn, and Harvard had to say to the House Education and Workforce Committee on Tuesday about all of the pro-Palestine rallies on their campus. And the lawmakers are concerned about rising anti-Semitism on their campus. And this is how they handled the questions.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
That could be.
So those would not be according to the
asking?
MIT's code of conduct or rules.
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms.
Not a
McGill,
no,
at
not a yes, that's against the
Penn,
rules?
does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
I am
What are we
asking
doing here?
specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is
The
yes.
yes would work. Yeah.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not
if you say it
bullying
like
or
a cheerful way.
harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill.
Yeah, it is pretty easy.
So is your
If it-
testimony
if
that
it-
you will not answer yes?
If it if the
Yes
speech
or no?
becomes if the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing
smarter
the
than
act
you.
of genocide?
Right.
The speech is not harassment. This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity
start the third,
for the
right.
world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Yes.
It can be, depending on the context.
Again, it can.
What's the context?
Yeah, what are we talking
Targeted
about?
as an individual, targeted at an individual.
It's
Severe,
targeted at
pervasive.
Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
She's not gonna say
Anti-Semitic
yes.
rhetoric. When
And is it
crosses into
anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
So,
Damn.
yeah. So all three of those university presidents, these are like the highest esteemed Ivy League universities in the country. They all agreed in a congressional testimony that calling for Jews to be eliminated isn't necessarily against their student codes of conduct.
Well, it depends on the context.
That's according to the presidents, yes. And
Are we talking about like hundreds of them gathering together and chanting that, or just one
Right.
person?
Well,
Right.
if there
They're
are
like,
enough
wait a
people
minute,
are calling for the
they're like, wait a
elimination
minute.
list,
Is
I
this,
mean,
is
how
this
can
after
you?
10 beers in their own apartments as kind of a
Yeah.
joke?
Have they gathered in the square, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, this whole conflict, whatever you want to call it, a war, horrible thing, it's horrible, and dehumanization has been brought up a lot, of people dehumanizing Palestinians, Muslims, and that's been happening, and in the United States as well as obviously Jewish people, as you see here, and it's all wrong, it's all bad. People that are not involved at all are just being insane and calling for like the end of
People
one
need to meet in
race.
the middle. People,
They need
look,
to, yeah, both sides are bad. I did see today that some hostages that were freed have been calling for Netanyahu to resign, and they were like, "You were shelling us while you don't know where the hostages are, and when you're shelling all of Gaza, you ended up shelling us. So like, stop saying you know where the hostages are, because
oh
you
yeah,
don't."
yeah. I mean,
Like
nobody.
Netanyahu's like just the Israel's. Just
I'm not saying.
bombing
Hey,
the
look,
shit
I'm
out of
not saying to
Gaza.
cheer on
Both sides-
either
yeah.
side.
No,
hardcore.
exactly. But
But
maybe don't
these-
call for the elimination of like an entire group of people, or be mean to people in the United States based on whether they're Muslim or Jewish. Like, what's going on with
They
that?
can't answer a simple question about is calling for the elimination of Jews on your campus
Simply
violation
that's horribly
student-
wrong.
Right. So anyways, obviously, after Representative Elsie Stefanik put all three of them in a mental blender, the internet is calling for all three to resign. I'm not seeing too many media outlets standing in the angry mob's way at this point. Harvard is trying to tweet their way out of it and retract everything. They're saying like statement from President Gay, like, you know, everything that I didn't say at the meeting. But Community Notes put, at a congressional hearing yesterday, President Gay refused to say whether calling for Jewish genocide is against the university code of conduct. So they can't
isn't
even
Harvard
tweet
the
their way out
group?
of it.
Isn't Harvard the group of people that tweeted Hamas was absolutely justified the day of the attacks before?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
within
all the-
hours
yeah,
of the
the president
attack.
signed the letter. Yeah.
Harvard's been stepping in it this whole time.
Well, Mark, we've been trying, Wes especially, we've been trying to warn everyone about Harvard and their ways for years now. Maybe finally people will listen, you know?
So what they're saying is that, look, we can't stop them from protesting a war, but the dialogue that they're speaking,
That's hate speech, though.
No,
Yeah.
not protesting the war is hate speech, but what they're saying
you
within
can
within
say
the
free
chance.
Palestine, but
Exactly,
you can't
that's
say,
what they're
you
saying.
can't say eliminate all of the Jews.
I
Like,
understand.
Big
but
difference
there's
between the two.
There's a
right?
big difference, but people are associating now.
But that's not what she was asking. She said the term "in for whatever child" is tied to like elimination of the Jews.
And that doesn't necessarily no. That term doesn't necessarily mean that, but at the same time, they clarified by saying calling for the elimination of the Jews. So I mean, it doesn't matter. They put themselves behind the eight ball. Those ladies,
And
they handled it
even
so
if
poorly.
even if that's not going on a lot at these she asked a simple question.
Right.
Would that hypothetically even be against guidelines? And they couldn't say yes to that.
Elsie Stefanik said to all three of them, "Welcome to the fucking show, bitches. You just got crushed." And that's what happened. I mean, that's on their record forever. They're all gonna fucking have that clip out there forever where they're all
Why is it
being
so hard
idiots.
to say yes? Why is it so hard to say yes to that?
Because
Like,
they don't want to infringe on free speech, and that's what they're scared of. That they think the protest, you can go and you can protest the war, but you can't
What about
be on the
calling for
side
the
of
elimination of the Jews?
She didn't say anything about protesting the war. She didn't say anything about the war.
But that's what this is about. That's what this is. That's
I
what
know,
the
but she didn't
protest
say that. She asked them a simple question.
I know, but I'm explaining why the university
up.
people are being idiots and
mean,
why
she fucked them up
they're
bad.
scared to say anything.
They could have followed up with saying that, Wes. They could have said, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
That
Well,
is
they tried to tweet it
1,000,000%
later,
against our guidelines.
But
But, you know, whatever else you want to say after that. But you have to answer yes to that. It doesn't make any sense.
Problem is that there's at least one person in all these idiots that is going to say kill the Jews in every protest. So it's like,
and that should be against the guidelines.
I agree. I agree with you. I don't know if does Palestine as a whole have a let's kill all the Jews as a country stance.
I think it's more the students at those schools have that
Right.
policy.
That's the craziest part. It's like, again, like a lot of the craziest people are the ones in the United States completely removed from the situation.
Right. Yeah.
They're the ones saying the craziest shit.
Now, if Palestine and the leaders had a stance, yes, it's our policy as a country to kill the Jews, and then they were like, we're with Palestine, that would be the same thing. But I don't think Palestine has come out and said, yes, we want to kill all the Jews. Hamas has, but you know, when they say free Palestine
Palestine hasn't said that. They have not.
I know that. I'm saying that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a much easier decision if Palestine had come out and said
Palestine's
that.
more like, can we stop this?
Right.
Please.
Yeah. Well, Harvard, they're trying to get out of it. I also saw that they announced their new class, Blitzkrieg 101, for next semester. So, I mean, we'll see how
it's already filled up, Will. It's already filled up.
Oh,
so,
that one filled up so fast.
Got to be on a waiting list.
People couldn't get in there quick enough. Yeah, crazy stuff. And that's not necessarily bad news. This last one I'm going to tell you, but Taylor Swift was named Time Person of the Year 2023. What do you think?
That.
I saw.
Cool. Weird choice to me. Her and Travis should paint a portrait of this moment because I don't think it's going to last forever necessarily. And that's what our sponsor, Paint Your Life, is perfect for. I know I brag a lot on this podcast about how Paint Your Life made my family the perfect portrait. Here's a time lapse of the artist making it. I'm showing it to the guys. If you're on youtube.com/hardfactornews, you can see it. It's amazing. A hand painted portrait, compiled from different photographs. It's like, it's like if the artist's mind is your canvas, is their canvas, and they make you the perfect fucking, sorry, excuse my language. I get excited about Paint Your Life. They make you the perfect portrait, no matter what you want. Paint Your Life transforms your photos into one-of-a-kind, beautiful hand-painted portraits by professional artists. Get a professional hand-painted portrait created from any photo for a sentimental holiday gift right from the heart. Use their compilation service and upload multiple photos to create anything you can imagine. Put yourself in a location you've always wanted to go to, or add a lost loved one to commemorate a special occasion. Create the portrait of your dreams. They can do anything. Lots of options. Customize your experience with a payment plan that works for you as little as 10% down. Makes this a truly affordable gift. User-friendly platform lets you order a custom-made hand-painted portrait in less than 5 minutes. You'll get to approve every stage of the portrait process and request as many modifications as you like to ensure the portrait is painted just like you dreamed. The perfect holiday gift. So this holiday season, you can give the most meaningful gift you have ever given from paintyourlife.com, and there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed. And right now, as a limited time offer, get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. To get this special offer, text the word FACTOR to 87204. That's FACTOR to 87204. Text FACTOR to 87204. Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Hell yeah.
Still not too late.
It's not too late.
Okay, gonna check in on
those three morons that run the highest, most prestigious colleges in America. It's too late for them.
No, they don't want a portrait this year. They should skip the portrait this. But Travis and Taylor, they probably want to commemorate this.
That's true.
Yeah,
Travis should get her on Time magazine a painting of that. Send it to him.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be a great one actually.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's going on in the world of transgender news, shall we?
Okay.
Let's
switch it up.
Wow. These two are Serena and Joe Wales, Colorado, and they are furious. You see, on a recent field trip to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, their 11-year-old daughter's class naturally had to sleep overnight at some hotels. Remember the overnight field trips in elementary school? You guys ever go on any?
Huh?
Not really.
Like to the Ben Franklin in Philly. You guys never did that?
Overnight? No.
Yeah, overnight.
It wasn't overnight. It was like you slept on the bus kind of thing, I felt like.
I stayed inside the Ben Franklin Institute one night. It was awesome. Although I got
that's a wrestling thing. That's a wrestling
thing.
Probably was a wrestling thing. Yeah. I shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry.
These were day trips, fella.
We didn't have overnight to Herndon.
2 hours max.
Yeah, you got on the coach bus and then you went to Philly and
no, we're talking Bluebird school buses for long periods of time.
Okay. Well, they were awesome. And sometimes you had to stay in hotels or whatever, and that was fun. You were there with your classmates. Of course, there were chaperones, and you got your own hotel room, and you had rules and stuff, but you'd always sneak out.
This whole school did this.
Whole grade. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I did this for sports, but that was like a sports team.
Sports,
you went on outside of school,
not school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the room assignments were only given out the night before the departure day, and Joe and Serena's 11-year-old daughter was assigned to sleep with her classmate, only known as DW, who she was friends with, this little girl. And the girls And Serena was rest assured that by the superintendent, by all the chaperones, that the boys and girls would be sharing, not be in the same rooms, separately. They would have, the girls over here in one room, boys over here in one room, even though the students were required to share a bed to save some money. So the parents were assured boys and girls would be separated, not in the same bed. But on the first night, as their daughter and her bunkmate crawled into bed, her bunkmate DW, who she's the only identified, turned to their daughter and said, "Hey, guess what? I'm actually a boy. I'm transgender." Whoa. Yeah. Okay. So Serena claims her daughter was terrified and really upset about the idea of sharing a bed with a biological boy, even though she had been good friends with this girl forever.
Yeah, but that could change things, and pretty much
certainly could change things, right?
Friends, right? And you're like, oh, you hadn't told me this whole time, and then now the first time you tell me is like we're under the covers. I mean, you look, you can't judge how the little girl's reaction was.
It's confusing for kids.
It is for an 11-year-old. It's very confusing. Yeah. So, but the thing is that the school policy basically is that you protect the identities of transgender students. You allow them to identify. You don't expose them for what they really are.
Oh, you create the situation on purpose.
You created the situation. They created the situation. Okay. Yeah, they were like, instead of telling the parents that let's just call her Noah is actually a transgender girl, we're gonna try to bamboozle your daughter and sneak Noah into bed with her on this field trip, rather than telling everyone, rather than exposing Noah.
And then once below the covers, Noah will have the option.
I'm going to go a step further and say it's a little weird to have any child that's like in a school share a bed with another young child, regardless of sex. This is a little bizarre to me. There's no if they're not related and stuff, you just go on this trip and you have to they don't have separate beds, like at least in these rooms.
Yeah,
I mean, you're bunking up, but do we know
you're
the
small? The beds are, you put a pillow in between. It's whatever.
Come on, that's weird.
I didn't think that was a big deal. But anyway, so she said that she called her mom, and her mom, Serena, demanded to see a chaperone in the hotel lobby after receiving a whispered phone call from her daughter informing her that she was supposed to sleep in bed with a transgender. She's like, "Mom, you know that girl is really good at dodgeball. Well, she just told me that she's a boy, and I'm really scared."
In the middle of the night,
Danielle's been burping and farting all night, and she's trying to pee standing up and splashing all over the floor.
Oh, that's tough.
Keeps poking me. So, the school chaperone asked the Wales' daughter if they could merely move her to a different bed rather than a different room. And it was late in the day, and she was like tired, and she was like, that's fine. But the next day, the chaperones told DW to lie to her roommates about the reason for the bed switch.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
This gets dirty.
Claiming she simply wanted to be closer to the air conditioner.
11-year-olds are great at keeping secrets.
Right.
She's telling everybody in her new room immediately when she gets
in.
Yeah.
So you won't believe what happened in the last room.
You won't believe that. Guess what? Noah is transgender. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but yeah, I mean, everyone knows now. So, but the
first
policy
thing she's doing is asking the new girl if she's a boy. And
yeah.
She's like, "Why are you
nobody
asking?"
in here is going to lay this on me once we get below the covers, right? So, I mean, that's crazy. And the fact that she called her mom in the middle of the night, this is bad for the school.
The policy of the school literally says, in most cases, students who are transgender should be assigned to share overnight accommodations with other students that share the student's gender identity, consistently asserted. It also says the policy states that under no circumstances should a transgender student be required to share a room with children, quote, whose identity conflicts with their own. So
the chaperones fucked up. They didn't even follow the school policy.
No. The school. She identifies as a girl, so they did the right thing. But
I thought it was the opposite time. I thought it was because you said she was friends with her before. She just didn't know.
She is. She didn't know she was actually she was transgender.
I thought this was like in the past
school policy.
I've changed my clothing and style.
No. The school policy is basically just to protect the transgender student and to possibly put other students in an extremely uncomfortable and inappropriate situation when it comes to overnight
like I
stays.
said, one way to just nip this in the bud is stop doing grade school overnight stays.
Yep, that's a good. I'm with that, Mark. Like you don't need the
pretty
grade
simple.
school overnights with no parents there.
You don't.
That's not
There's plenty of museums within driving distance. You can go home afterwards.
That's a middle school and up thing. What are we talking about here?
It's pretty
this
stupid
goes
to do this to begin with.
grade.
Like I said. Yeah.
Fifth grade.
Fifth
I can't
grade,
even
yeah.
imagine, bro.
Yeah, they're like, you got to sleep with
because overnight camp,
biological boy.
the parents choose to send the kids to overnight camp. On individual sports team, the parents choose to pay for these sports teams and usually go with them on these travel tournaments. When you're in public school or the school, it sounds like the whole school has to go, or you're like a loser if you don't.
You
go.
can opt out if you want. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
if you want to be
if
a
you don't go.
loser.
Yeah, if you want to be a loser. Yeah.
It's a little weird to have grade school overnights.
I thought it was pretty. So now they're suing. I think they're suing the school for. I know the daughter's distraught. I don't know, but it's. I guess they're suing probably to change the policy because it violated their rights to not know that their daughter was even around a transgender. I want to know who.
Sleeping in
who has. I want to know every little boy that has a penis.
Pretty sure it's not sleeping in the same bed.
Probably traumatic for both individual kids involved.
Yeah,
because now the transgender girl has been exposed, and
it sucks for both the kids.
Well, the other girl's also been traumatized. So the school's policy
both
created
kids
this
were like
horrible situation.
School's policy is horrible. They had no idea how to handle it, so they decided to just try to keep it as secret as possible.
Yeah,
and hope no one would find out.
Whoops.
Yeah, everybody found out now.
How'd the Ben Franklin trip go? And every kid's like, Mom and Dad, you gotta hear what happened on the Ben Franklin trip.
Whatever you do, don't tell them you have a penis, because then they're gonna make you move rooms. You understand? So,
bro, the coaching of the kid to conceal it makes it so much worse for the school.
It's dirty, man. It's crazy. I mean, look, I feel for both people in the situation. And
that's a horrible situation all around.
Practice painting your nails. Let's practice together.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's why the working title for this episode is "Fools Who Work in Schools Extravaganza," because it's really been quite a few.
Wow. I got something fun to end with.
Yeah, nice.
Got something fun to. Got a punny headline I found for you guys. Check this out. Officers rescue kangaroo on routine patrol. Get it? Routine?
Yeah. ROO-teen. Yeah,
saw that headline and had a nice little chuckle. Nailed it. Now, this is not in Australia, believe it or not. This is up there with our neighbors to the north in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, right? That's unusual.
Canadian
so over there in Ontario, specifically in Oshawa, which is 40 miles east of Toronto, and this fucking kangaroo in Oshawa was on the loose for 4 days. They couldn't catch the bastard. People kept calling the local police and were like, "Oh yeah, we see him. Oh yeah, he's hopping around." And they just would be like, "Oh, he's hopping around," and they'd be like, "Where is he?" And then they'd get over there, and then he wasn't hopping around there anymore, or she wasn't, I should say, the 4-year-old female kangaroo. So they couldn't catch her for 4 days. Like, what the fuck?
Hide under piles of denim outside that are drying out.
Yeah. They just don't know what a kangaroo looks like in Canada. They probably had seen it, but they're like, "Oh, it's just a big brown bear." They just, they just had no idea what a kangaroo looked like, so they couldn't catch it. By the time, anyone showed up,
that's a funny looking deer.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That deer's standing up. It's hopping around until day 4. They finally catch this thing Monday at 3 a.m. Day 4 of escape, when police from the Durham Regional Police Service found the kangaroo that got out while transferring zoos. By the way, back to that whole not Australia thing. It was either someone with an illegal pet or a zoo deal, right? So it was the zoo deal. So it was a zoo transfer. Zoo transfer went wrong, and luckily the lion didn't get out. That could have been worse. Oh shit! Did the hippopotamus eat his way out of the caravan?
Yeah.
At least it was the kangaroo, and the kangaroo did not go quietly into the night, as he did what kangaroos do when they're being pressed, and that's square up. And because they're so full of riz, and he punched one of the Canadian Mounties right in the jaw. Pow, right in the
Oh, he popped me.
He popped him.
Oh, he popped me.
Yeah. And I think, again, it goes back to the Canadians not knowing how to handle kangaroos. So they kept being like, "Hey, go for the tail, mate. Go for the tail." Yeah, look at that jumpy bear, Bailey says. both cops like, hey, you grab the tail. I heard grabbing the tail is the way to go. So one of the guys goes for the tail, goes low, and just shows him his jaw, and then downward jab to the jaw, pops the cop. Eventually they got the kangaroo.
How big of a roo was it? Because that
Full-grown adult female.
Oh wow, okay.
With an adult child that stayed, and now this 4-year-old female is she's been captured, and she's on the way to another zoo she doesn't want to go to, this time in Quebec. So
yeah, she'll soon have her day in kangaroo court.
Hey, got him. That should have been the headline too.
I stole that from a video I saw about the thing.
I love kangaroos. They have like a lot of, like you said, so rizzed up. They're just like they're one of the only animals that will just fight a human. Like a lot of them will attack you, but as a group, or it's much bigger than you. But a fucking kangaroo will one-on-one fucking fight you.
And that's why Canadians didn't know it. Australians would know that to capture the kangaroo, you just kind of go a few rounds with it toe-to-toe.
Oh, yeah, you got to wrestle.
Canadians were trying to grab it by the tail and getting popped and without protecting
you got to go head on, straight for it. Get around that long-ass neck and then wrestle it to the ground. That's the only way. We've seen several Australians
taking a large dog in the backyard and getting naked and being like, I'm the alpha.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And then they have claws. So you have to watch out for that. Maybe sock them a few. Headlock, sock them a few. Yeah.
And then the kangaroo would have gone willingly to the zoo. Now, there is no word if they're going to punish this kangaroo by separating her from her children. That's yet to be determined at the new zoo. They're thinking about it. But no jokes. She got away. This is hilarious. This is not a joke. She got away when her handlers did a brief rest stop before they in between zoos, and she, quote, jumped over them. So
yes.
Not exactly the A-team of kangaroo handlers over there in Canada. They don't know that kangaroos can jump.
Didn't put a top on the enclosure, huh? For the kangaroos.
Just right over their heads, and off it went for 4 days.
Oh no, the one thing we weren't supposed to do.
Shit, they can jump.
Bart, did you put the top on the enclosure?
We're in a pickle now.
Yeah, exactly. They probably should have not admitted to the kangaroo jumping over their heads.
Yeah.
But, that made the papers.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So that's the show. A little funny one at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So happy to end on laughs. That was awesome. We covered all the important stuff. I mean, hey, the news is not all laughs. That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Exactly. But we try to make it a little bit more fun.
That's right.
We hope you enjoy it. We hope you spread the word, text your friends, email your friends and family.
Who's on Hive Hour?
Holiday plans.
Oh, wheel it up.
Right. Well, we don't even know who's on the show besides me and Pat, right? Are we bringing on guests?
Oh, that's right. I'm off for West.
Shit. That's right. So we might not
I don't know if we're going to do a Hive Hour this week.
We might not have a Hive Hour this week. There could West and I will be.
We might mix it in, but I don't know if anyone's.
There might be some Hive Hour content, but
Pat and I are going to have to pick stories.
Yeah. I think we'll either have a guest or we'll at least be somebody on with Mark and Pat.
Me, Pat, and TBD tomorrow night.
It's the holiday season. We're going to be making it through, giving you fresh content the entire time. But a few of us will be off here and there because of holidays. So
yeah, it's holiday season. We hope you guys have your holiday plans. Chris Slate says you guys are terrific.
That's a fantastic one, Chris. Wow.
Thanks, Chris.
You can barely notice the pun forced in there.
You're terrific too, Chris, and everyone out there in the Hive. We love you. So please get out there and have a great fucking day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.